Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. It is time for Coffee with PC, those few minutes we set aside each week to kind of touch base in the middle of the week, hopefully to give you a little pickup, a little food for thought as you go through the week and we get ready to worship together on Sunday. I'm sitting out back, as I have often lately, loving being outside. In the summer it gets pretty brutal. It's not as easy to be outside, but certainly in the winter, and now we're moving into spring, a lot nicer. I had to find a new position. I had to move the table over here to find a little shade. And the reason for that is because just yesterday on Tackle It Tuesday, kind of that maintenance day that some of our folks come out and do some work around the church, they did some trimming of the trees back here, which looks really great, really opens it up. They did some cleaning up of the basketball courts and the different areas back here. But when they trimmed the trees and thinned them out, where I usually sit was just kind of the sun was just too much. So I had to move over a little bit here. So you might wonder why I'm in a little different position, but that's why I'm here. And I guess that's going to be a lot of what we do. Many of us are going to be doing, not just in church world, but in the real world, is kind of that spring cleaning, we might say. It's sort of a rite of spring in this time of year. We just had the time change. We usually help remember it by saying we spring forward, and we're coming up on the beginning of the season with spring just around the corner. I think it's March 20th, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe just next week we'll get to that sort of milestone, as it were. So a lot going on in this time of year. And if you're like me, you probably do a little bit of spring cleaning. We've been doing some things at the house, partly because it needs to be done, and partly, well, let's be honest, there's company coming, so we got to straighten up a few things for that as well. And spring cleaning is a ritual many folks do, as I'm sure some of you do. I came across actually a blog on Billy Graham's website. I don't think it was original with him, but it talked about spring cleaning and 3 questions to ask. And I thought this was really helpful. And it really informs using the idea of what we do when we clean with how we go about spiritually spring cleaning. The first question we often ask with spring cleaning is, what needs to go? What have we held on to for too long? We've done some of that in our house these last couple of weeks. We've gone through some closets and said, why did we keep this? That thing that for whatever reason you thought, I better hold on to this, I'll need it someday, and you start putting lots of things that you'll need someday in closets and in drawers, and before you know it, they're just overflowing and messy. And so we've done some of that. Just like kind of when you look at this back area, the trees are beautiful, but sometimes you need to say what needs to go. Some of those low-hanging limbs and the things that are blocking the way, they just need to go. And in our spiritual life, there are some things that just need to go. There are some habits that we have, some habits that we form, they just need to go. Some things that aren't beneficial, or worse yet, are actually sinful habits that we've developed. Things that we do that we take us away at times from what we should be doing, from better pursuits, because we've allowed those things to come in. And those are things that, just like in spring cleaning, that clutters our lives. It doesn't allow us to have that sense of order and organization and sense of purpose that we need, because there's just so much we're holding on to. So spiritually, sometimes we need to ask the exact same question. What needs to go? What needs to be gotten rid of? Maybe it's something in your routine. Maybe it's a responsibility or a habit that you've taken on that you realize isn't beneficial, and you just need to kind of brush that off. What needs to go? Spring cleaning, that's a big part of it. Another part of spring cleaning is often, what can I give away? When we bring those things out, some stuff you've kept, you realize this was broken, this was useless, this was damaged, I don't know why I kept it, and so it just needs to go. But other stuff you pull out and you say, wow, okay, so maybe these are some things that I could give away, some things that maybe I got new and just never had a use for and are still in the box, or things in good condition. What can I give away? That happens a lot. I'm sure the local thrift stores and whatnot get a lot of calls this time of year, people spring cleaning. Hey, can you come pick up this, or can I drop off these things with you that could be used? And somebody else might find that. I mean, we're big in the yard sale, time of year. I see a lot of them as I'm jogging on the weekends in the different neighborhoods. I'll see the signs and the yards filled up. One man's trash is another man's treasure, as the saying goes, and that happens. And so sometimes you just need to give it away. But how does that apply spiritually? What needs to be given away? Right off the top of my head, I can think what thing that needs to be given away. We need to share. We need to give away our faith. We need to tell others about the faith that we have in Christ and his love and forgiveness. And we're coming up in about a month. It'll be Easter Sunday, that key moment on the Christian calendar. If Christ is not raised, if Christ did not come back to life from the grave, our hope is in vain. We might as well just hang it all up and go. It doesn't mean anything. But because he was risen, he is risen from the grave, we have a great hope. And so we can share, we can give away that faith in every opportunity we get. So as you're going through your stuff, some stuff needs to go in your life and in your closets, and other stuff needs to be given away so that new life can be given to that thing, and new life can come to the people that you share your faith with. And the third question we often ask is, what just needs some TLC? I've come across something that I haven't taken good care of it. It needs to be cleaned up. It needs to be dusted off. It needs to be vacuumed. It needs to have the cleaning done. It needs to be thoroughly whatevered to bring it back. It's just kind of maybe that thing. One thing that we find is a chore that we have to do that we kind of hate is like our windows. That old saying, I don't do windows. The new windows that surround kind of the living area of the pastorium there, that's a lot of square footage of window, and it's easy to let them go. But when the sun hits it just right, you're like, ooh, these windows, they need some TLC. We need to break out the hose and the cleaner and both inside and outside. Take care of those, because you can see the streaks and the dirt that's on them. Some things just need some special care, some special attention. And in the spring cleaning spiritually that we're talking about, there may be some things in your life that need that TLC. I mean, it reminds me, what's the greatest commandment? To love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. To love God. That's the number one greatest commandment. Okay, there we go. And so we've got to give TLC to our relationship with God. That we need to cultivate that, not neglect it. Get rid of the stuff that has no value, that's holding us back, as the writer of Hebrews said, the sin that so easily entangles us. And then we give TLC to the stuff that we've neglected, so that it can be in its proper place and be useful for us. And then we give away that faith that we have as we understand the life and hope and salvation that we have through Christ Jesus. So I like that little devotional by Billy Graham Association. I thought that was helpful, particularly as we're going to be doing some of those very same things in our homes. Hey, let me just add real quick. I'm not sure where I am time-wise, but just real quick. One of the reasons we're starting to do some of this around here is we've got some cool events planned for Palm Sunday and Easter weekend. Of course, Easter weekend is kind of the highlight. Easter Sunday, April 17th. We are thrilled that we're back at Penny Camp for our Easter sunrise service. We'll be planning baptism that Sunday. The sunrise service at 6:45. They put no limits as far as you can't bring. Last year they told us you could only bring so many people. We don't have those limits this year. It's wide open. Parking is an issue at Penny Camp, so if you're planning to come, you might want to seriously think about carpooling. Don't just bring one person in a car, because those parking spaces near the far beach are limited. But we're going to be there 6:45 Easter Sunday, Easter sunrise service. And then we're going to have our Easter worship service back here, a normal time, 9 o'clock. Between the two, there'll be like a continental breakfast, some different things available, coffee, Danish, and fruit and the like, in the breezeway for those who leave the beach and want to come straight here, or those who get here a little bit early on that Sunday. And then our 9 o'clock Easter Sunday worship service here at the church. So that's kind of the highlight, but we have some cool things leading up to it. Our kids ministry is putting on what they're calling the Egg Extravaganza, EGG Extravaganza. That's Saturday of Palm Sunday weekend, Saturday, April 9th. Right out here, out back. That's why we've been doing the cleaning. That's why the group yesterday, Tillman and Mike, got out here with the saws and the pressure washer and whatnot and started cleaning up around. And that's going to continue as we get closer to the event. We've done it before. This time we're trying to do it a little bit bigger. It's going to be later in the day, 4:30 to 6:30. So it's an afternoon, evening event. In addition to egg decorating stations, by the way, you bring your own dozen boiled eggs, and there'll be several different ways you can decorate them, dye them, and the like, creative ways, fun ways. Denise always comes up with some cool ideas for that. So that will happen, but we're also going to have the little farm is going to be here. They're going to be set up with some of their animals. We're going to put up our bounce house that we have and slide that we use. We're going to have some of our concessions out, machines. There'll be hot dogs, kind of if you're hungry, hot dogs and chips kind of as a snack there as well. So all of that's going to be April 9th. 4:30 to 6:30, the egg extravaganza. So let people know as we start to advertise it, let people know about that. We also still need some help, by the way. If you'd like to help make that possible, be one of the table, the stations, the concession machines, whatever, please let us know. Denise needs some help with that. And then the next thing is Good Friday. Instead of a traditional Good Friday service, we're going to have a very different kind of a Good Friday observance. We're calling it Journey to the Cross. And it's modeled after a little bit, not exactly, a little bit, if you're familiar with the Stations of the Cross. You'll often see those depicted in Catholic stained glass windows and other places, the journey Jesus takes to the cross. We're calling it that Journey to the Cross. And we're going to have stations set up all over our church, in the fellowship hall, some outside, some in the auditorium, in the sanctuary, 10 stations where you're going to take the journey with Jesus from the Last Supper to the tomb. His last few hours on earth, you're going to take that journey with him. It's a walkthrough. It's an interactive experiential exhibit. It's Good Friday, which will be April 15th from 4 to 7 p.m. are the hours. We're going to give you more information as it gets closer, as we kind of finalize some things. It's going to be different, but I hope it'll be a meaningful experience. So you might want to mark that down on your calendar. We have a lot coming up. I'm kind of excited as Easter is right around the corner. Yes, it's kind of like the most important event on the Christian calendar. If Christ is not raised, our faith is in vain. That's the resurrection is key. But we know he has been raised, so we celebrate that together and we remember his great sacrifice. So we hope you'll take advantage of that. We hope as well, like I've already said, you'll do some spiritual spring cleaning as we lead up to Easter. This season of Lent, which typically as Baptists we don't observe in a formal way, is really spiritual spring cleaning in some ways. And so we hope you'll do that, just like you're cleaning up your house or wherever, your shed or whatever else might be on the list. So those are my thoughts for this Wednesday morning. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to go finish my third or fourth or however many cup of coffee it is today and get ready for tonight's study. Hope you can join us as always on Sundays for worship, 9 a.m. in person or online. We'll be there and hope you will join us too. Have a great week, everybody.